So how exactly do you overcome these awkward conversations? Especially the ones with lots of silences and you have no idea what to say. Augustus here, and let's look at some of the ways that we can solve this problem. Personally, I feel like one of the biggest flaws that people have with having a conversation is making it all about getting facts from the other person and not exactly making that connection. Look how Simu created a connection by experiencing the same activity together.
Pour me on like the spicy food. Yeah, you wanna try it?
Oh yeah, it's soothing. It's soothing.
When you share an experience with someone, it naturally feels like now you guys are part of like a group. And that really dissolves that awkwardness. Now here's another connection where Simu made a connection by mentioning that the host also is a New York Times bestseller.
Thank you. And you know this, Chelsea, as a fellow New York Times bestseller, but the title follows you for your entire life. Like, you can make the list.
Practically speaking, this can be really small things. This can be, oh, have you seen this photo? Here, let me show you. Or here, come on, let's go get a drink. So don't just focus on facts and exchanges when you're talking to someone. Make it so that you are actually creating shared experiences together. Like, none of us like to make talking to someone feel like pulling teeth. If you have found this helpful so far, hit that like button. This next tip controls if people actually feel positively about participating in the conversation. Can you think of a time when you're in a group conversation and you said something and someone said, oh, that's a good point. And that made you more confident and more engaged in the conversation. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Look how Simu does it when he repeats the host.
And he set his sights on America, and that's what happened.
He's like, I gotta get that
gotta
chicken.
get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta get that chicken.
Gotta get that chicken.
Because one of their first dates was going to KFC, or one of their first.
If someone did like a small nod or yes, those things can be pretty easily dismissed. But if you repeat what the person says, it shows that you're actively having thoughts that are agreeing with that person. Here's some more examples.
Lineups out the door.
And
like
obviously
the
an
new thing.
aphrodisiac also.
And obviously
yeah.
an aphrodisiac. There's something in those 11 herbs and spices that just...
For like 15 or 20 minutes, and you're a little boy, so you're like, what is happening?
What is
Am I
going
allowed ever? Am I ever gonna be allowed?
When you reaffirm people, it naturally soothes out that awkwardness because it amplifies that agreement bond that you guys made. But another tip is that you also don't want to agree with someone all the time, and I've made a video on that. This next one's about reducing your fear of awkwardness. If you're afraid of awkwardness, you'll panic when it happens, messing up your results, and making your experience with the next time that it happens worse. And you can try this out by this simple practice where you say something and you deliberately stop to allow that awkwardness to happen. And then you look at the other person as a signal for the other person to respond. It kind of looks like this.
That is so good!
The movie did really well. We did really well. And it's in part because, you know, we spent the amount of time that we did on the stunts.
Okay, so I want to talk about you.
Notice the deliberate stop, the silence, and the eye contact to allow the other person to carry on the conversation. Here are a few more examples.
Yeah, because I heard you got really good at changing your clothes real quick, which was probably kind of
Stripping. Yeah, it was
Ooh.
basically, well, you know, I probably pictured it with a little less COVID, to be honest.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know,
I guess so, yeah.
a little less social distancing, a little less
see that.
lockdown, quarantine, and all.
So use this to kind of practice leaning into that awkward silence and not panic when it happens. Now this last way to reduce awkwardness is by subtly encouraging people to talk. So I want you to listen to how Simu is talking to the host.
I like it, Sean. Is that all you got? Don't quote me on that. I didn't just say that. That's a bad idea.
The 2 wings and confidence. You know, I never get sick of that.
He is simply talking in a really friendly manner about his own experiences of what is actually happening and inviting the host to also jump in if he wanted to. Now let's look at another one.
I can keep this one down, but I'm not letting myself get overconfident. I feel it building, and then I feel,
It's settling.
like I don't need to go to the boba yet.
You see the same pattern? He describes that experience and the other person can connect with that experience if they wanted to. Have you ever wondered why when someone tells a story, the people around the person becomes a lot more engaged? This is the same concept. When you are able to produce something that allows other people to connect with you, those bonds become stronger. So this way you're not just constantly talking about, oh wow, the weather's so nice today, and be able to actually go a little bit deeper. If you want to, you can let me know in the comments, when was your last awkward conversation? Mine was last week. But you have finished this video, and if you want to, I have made another video on removing people-pleasing tendencies, and you might want to check that out.